YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about a $40 semi-smartwatch, the Amazfit Neo, that I've been using now for at least 4 or 5 months. So this is a long-term review. I've been using this watch for a long time now. We're going to talk about why I picked this watch. So what do you need to know if you're looking to potentially pick up this product is what we're going to be talking about today. Ultimately, let me share this out of the way. You know, I've had an Apple Watch. I had the original Apple Watch. I've had, I think, all the way up to the 3rd version of the Apple Watch. And ultimately, I realized a couple years ago that I just wanted to simplify. Too many notifications on my wrist, too much buzzing. I was getting a bunch of phantom vibrations kind of on my wrist. So that's where like you think your watch buzzed you, but it didn't really. You know, at that point, I was like, you know what? I need to simplify. Let's move away from Apple Watch. Really, anything I need that happens on the Apple Watch is more ideally situated for the phone. So it's the same reason I don't carry an iPad. I don't use an iPad because I have my phone. I don't need to use 2 devices for one purpose, and so that's why I get the iPhone Pro Max, the biggest version of the iPhone I can. So I can have that display and not really feel the need for an iPad. And if I need to do computing, I've got my MacBook Pro. You know, this is really all I need is phone and MacBook Pro. And so I went to the traditional watch route for a while until I picked up disc golf. So I was playing a lot of disc golf, and I was interested in tracking my steps to kind of get a little bit healthier. It's what I'm using for exercise. And I was tired of carrying my phone in my pocket while I'm moving around the disc course. It was kind of, you know, jiggling around in the pocket, and it wasn't the most comfortable thing. So I thought, hey, is there a watch out there that's super simple? It doesn't have, number one, it's not as expensive as an Apple Watch, but it also doesn't have all the notification stuff, maybe a little bit of it, but more importantly, it does the basic health things that I was interested in. And that primarily was step counting for me. So I looked through a lot of different products that can do step counting. Ultimately wanted to have a watch as well, so ultimately ended up on the Amazfit Neo. And it does that and does more. So we're going to get into it. I've got the green one on my wrist here right now. So this is what the Amazfit Neo looks like. And I liked this watch so much that I decided to get this watch in black. So we're going to unbox the black version of this watch today, and we're going to compare the two. So let's get into the box real quick and see what you get inside. All right, let's pull the box out. Nothing else on the inside. Oh, by the way, just to kind of go through some of the specs on this watch before we get into it, I've got it pulled up here on the computer. Essentially, it offers heart rate and sleep monitoring. So I leave the heart rate monitor on all the time. I sleep in this watch every night, so I've actually come to love the sleep monitoring part of the watch. You know, it has a little bit of a retro design, maybe like that of the Casio G-Shock series. I've got a couple G-Shock watches. The biggest thing about this is ultra long. So they're saying 28-day battery life. I have found that to be accurate. I forget about having to charge this watch until like a month later, and then I just plop it on the charger and it's done. So if you need something that, like, I have zero charge anxiety around this watch at all. I just wear this thing for days and days and weeks, and then finally, you know, I realize, oh, hey, I need to charge it. I'm down to 20%, and I throw it on a charger for a little bit and I'm good to go. The battery life on this watch is amazing, and that's because it has a digital LCD display, so it's not fancy. You know, this is a pretty basic, pretty straightforward, you know, watch. Not very fancy, but it does some of the practical things you need: step counting, sleep, heart rate, exercise tracking, those types of things, and it does them really well. So we'll get into it. It does also have a little bit of notifications, so you can do text message and phone calls and other app notifications. It doesn't give you the actual text of those notifications on the screen. It just beeps you, and there's a little icon that'll say phone or message or app. And so you kind of know what type of notification you just received. I actually like that because sometimes when I'm out in the disc golf course and maybe I'm, you know, during the business day and I want to get a notification if I get a call and I don't have my phone in my pocket, it's in the backpack, you know, the watch will notify me if I'm getting a call and I can grab that real quick out of there. So, all right, rest of the box here. Pulling this out, I think this is your paperwork and instructions. Well, that's actually a pretty thick book of instructions. You don't really need that. It's pretty self-explanatory. And there's an app that goes along with this, so we'll get into that here in a second. Then down here on the end, here's the watch. Pull that out and set it aside. And then on the inside, I believe this is the charger. Set the box down. Yep. So it's got a little USB charger here. Pull that out, and basically you just clip this onto the back of the watch. So here's the green watch here. You see, just kind of clip it on right here. Plug that into a USB charger, and you're good to go for charging. It doesn't take very long to charge at all. So here's, I'll throw the green one out here again, just so we can have that to compare against. And then let's pull out. And there we have the black version of the watch. I actually like this. Let me see here. Is it about the same size? Yeah, I mean, it looks same size and everything. Let me put this on the wrist real quick. Just do a quick comparison here. Oh yeah, I think I like the black better now that I'm looking at it. Obviously it's new though, so that might be why. But here's a close-up look of the black watch here. So you do have 4 buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have your heart rate monitor on the back. You have a nice kind of soft silicone strap, although I'm going to be switching this strap out, I believe, with this black strap I picked up from Barton. It's just a little bit longer. I have thick wrists. I'm a big guy kind of, so I've got a little bit of a longer strap I'm going to be putting on the watch, although I've been using this green one with the original strap, and the strap works just fine for a wrist of my size, which I would say is probably a large to extra large size. So yeah, so there's the black and the green colorways if you want to compare those two together side by side. And we'll look at the app here in a second. You know, I've really liked the green a lot, but I think I'm going to like, it'll be interesting. I think I'm going to like the black a little bit more. It goes with more outfits, I guess, let's say. So let me walk you through the buttons here. So a couple cool things. This button down here at the bottom left-hand corner, basically you tap it and hold, and it lights up the light for you, so you can see the time at night. So as I said before, I sleep with this watch every night. One of the things I really like about it is it has an alarm on it. Easy to set on your phone. We'll get to that in a second. But I've stopped using my iPhone as my alarm clock, and I use my watch now. So it's just on my wrist. It beeps. It's not too loud, so it's not waking others up, but it just wakes enough to wake me up, which I really like. Doesn't vibrate. It just beeps. So just keep that in mind. This button on the right-hand side, or actually the 2 buttons on the right-hand side, switch between the different functions. So right now I've got it on weather. And then you can switch to, this is a stopwatch. And the stopwatch, I think, starts, then stop, and then clear it. So the stopwatch is at the top. Get that a little bit more in center here. And this switches to the alarm. So you can see how my alarm is set there. Then we've got a heart rate monitor, so it's showing your heart rate. And the battery percentage, so 45%. I have not charged this watch in like 2 weeks. I'm not kidding. And was this my step counter? So this is your step counter. Went out and played a little bit today, so I got a few steps in. And then we're back to weather on the front. And there's some other features we'll take a look at in the app. But again, $40 on Amazon. I'll leave a link down below. Very much worth it. This watch has worked great. It's waterproof. I've showered in this watch. I've swam in this watch. They also offer this watch in a... All right, here's the red option. So they do have a red option that you can go for as well. So great value buy to pick up if you're looking for a watch that has a little bit of smart functionality, but not not everything, not too much. So let's take a look at the app real quick. Let me kind of show you what you can do on the app side of things. All right, so let me open this up. So it's called the Zepp app. Kind of zip down here. And it gives you kind of a score. It's like a score that they calculate. They call it the PAI score. I haven't really looked into it that much, to be honest with you. But if you want to do some research into that, you can. But basically, it's their way of scoring your level of activity. But as you notice, we've got your sleep score down here. So it measures your sleep every night, gives you a good score, and shows you your different sleep states and the duration for each of those. Shows your heartbeat. It will measure stress there. I think the no blood oxygen data, I think that's probably you have to get an additional plug-in to measure, additional component to measure that. You can track your weight if you want to in that, and then you have your activities. So I've measured a couple. I don't really use the activities a lot, as I said before, mostly interested in step counting and sleep. But if you want to, you can measure different activities, and this is one of my rounds of disc golf. I walked 2.38 miles, and it kind of gives you a map of where you walked, and it gives you some stats around average speed, heart rate, all those types of things that you want to look at. And then down below here, again, step counting. You also get calories burned, and you can customize that. So if I go into profile, this is where I can get into. So if I go to, here's my device here. Obviously, I can set my alarm here. I can turn on and off different app alerts if I want to. And somewhere I can set my apps, or my watch apps. Let's see here. Here you go, choose items to be displayed on the watch. So I've hidden a few items. You also have a world clock, do not disturb, your PAI score, your calories, and your distance can also be shown on your watch. I've turned those off, and the ones I have on are steps, weather, stopwatch, alarm, heart rate, and battery. So really cool app, very easy to use. Again, I've really enjoyed using the watch. So I think what are the 3 things you need to know if you're considering buying this watch? It'd be this. I think it does step counting really well. I've measured this against my phone in the pocket, and the numbers are very similar. They're not exactly aligned, but they're very close to one another. So I feel like the step tracking is pretty well. In terms of sleep, I think it's all comparable. As long as you're comparing day to day on this watch, then I think the sleep tracking is something great to measure. Is this the most accurate in terms of sleep measurement? I don't know. I'm not being too scientific about this, but I think consistency in using the device and measuring yourself on the device can give you a good inclination of, are you sleeping well or not? All that to say. And, charging. The third thing is the battery life. Huge battery life. They claim 28 days on the website. I would say I'm getting at least 28 days, if not more. I'm not using this watch every single day, so I will share that. I'm not wearing it 24 hours a day every day, but I'm wearing it most days. And I'm getting a ton of weeks out of this watch before I have to charge. So I've enjoyed it. I've got 2 right now. I'm going to continue to use this watch. If you have any questions on this, leave me a comment down in the description, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I appreciate you watching the video. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Peace.